Abraham showed us faith. Isaac showed us patience. But Jacob showed us that even the chosen lineage is stained by human deceit. He was a trickster, a heel-grabber, who stole his brother Esau's birthright and blessing. He fled his home not as a faithful traveler, but as a frightened fugitive running from the righteous anger of his brother. Yet, it is often in our loneliest, most shameful moments when we are utterly stripped of our human schemes that God chooses to meet us. This is the story of Jacob, met by grace. The fugitive. Jacob was exhausted. He had traveled all day, driven by fear. The image of his older brother, Esau's face betrayed, furious, and promising murder haunted every step. He was an exile alone, carrying nothing but a staff and the profound, heavy guilt of his deceitful actions. The sun had set, plunging the rugged hills into a frightening darkness. He found a rough, cold patch of ground near the settlement of Luz. He took a stone, a sharp, uncomfortable piece of the broken earth, and placed it beneath his head as a pillow. The stars above were the same stars his grandfather, Abraham, had counted as a sign of God's promise. But for Jacob, the promise felt impossibly distant, a cold comfort in the desolate darkness. He felt abandoned by his family, and surely by the God of his fathers. He closed his eyes and drifted into a deep, desperate sleep. The dream. Suddenly, the darkness exploded with light. Jacob's spirit was lifted into a vision of staggering proportions. He saw a great ladder, its base resting on the very patch of earth where he slept, and its top reaching piercingly into the infinite, blinding light of heaven. He watched, mesmerized, as the angels of God, messengers of immense power and serene purpose, were ascending and descending this bridge between worlds. The universe was not silent. It was a highway of divine activity. Then, standing above the top of the ladder, a figure of glory appeared, the Lord God himself. The voice that spoke was not a shout of judgment, but a deep, resonant declaration of commitment, piercing the night. I am the Lord God of Abraham thy father, and the God of Isaac. The land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed. Jacob had only known God through the inheritance of his family, but now the promise was made personal. Even though Jacob was a liar, a schemer, and a fugitive, God reiterated the covenant, the promise of land, of seed, and, most importantly, of presence. And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land. For I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of. Jacob woke with a violent start, his body trembling, the stone pillow now feeling less like an object and more like a sacred altar. The dream vanished, but the air throbbed with a residual holiness. He looked around at the ordinary hills, realizing they were anything but. He had stumbled into the intersection of the mortal and the divine. Surely the Lord is in this place. And I knew it not, he whispered, his own deceitful past feeling heavy against the purity of this revelation. Jacob wept, tears of relief and awe mixing with the dust of the ground. The schemer was humbled. He took the stone pillow, the symbol of his humble, desolate state, and set it up as a pillar, pouring oil upon it as an act of consecration. This place, he declared with a new, firm voice, shall be called Bethel. He made a vow, a commitment born not of his own cleverness, but of God's unsolicited grace. If God truly kept him safe and brought him back to his father's house, then the Lord would be his God, and he would give 1/10 of everything back. He was accepting his destiny, not seizing it.